Hey guys, welcome to another episode here of AirgunWebTV. My name is Rick Utzler.
And I'm Aaron the Barbarian.
We are here at the Lake Havasu City Sportsman's Club to talk about some pretty cool air guns. Aaron, what do you think about these?
I think we got a good lineup here on the table. They're all sub $300, so that's a great price point for anybody to start shooting with.
Affordability, very affordable, and they're all PCPs. So this episode is all about the entry-level, low-cost PCPs. Now, Aaron, all of these guns started out the same way. And what's the same about all these guns? Now, don't tell me after we get back from the break. So guys, think about that. We'll be right back. What do all these guns have in common? All right, Aaron, so the question, what do all these have in common? Do you know what it is?
I do. They all started out as CO2 guns.
That's absolutely right. Every gun here on the table started out as a CO2 gun. That first one, that's the new Benjamin Wildfire. It's semi-automatic, which I think is really, we should call it more dual action.
Yeah, it's a little tough on the trigger, so semi-auto isn't as quick as you'd like it to be, but if you got the finger strength, I mean,
I think double action is probably more accurate. But that started out as a Crossman 1077, been around forever. Now we come to the QB Chief. This is by Beeman. Gosh, the QB78. I mean, how many varieties and flavors of the CO2 QB78 are there out there?
There's way too many to
There's
count.
a ton. And that's a gun that people love to customize. And then we come up to the Benjamin Maximus.
I'm a fan of that gun.
You like that gun?
I am a fan of it.
What do you like most about that gun?
Honestly, I think how quiet it is, and the trigger. I really like the trigger.
Well, you know, that one, we modified the trigger.
Oh, well, that would explain it.
Yeah, well, we couldn't leave it stock. But we'll get to some of the cool things about these guns here in a minute. The ability to customize them, really, it's wide open, and that's one of the cool things about these entry-level guns. But the Maximus is, you know, it was kind of new, been out for maybe a year and a half or so.
Yeah.
I love that it's so lightweight.
It is extremely light, yes.
As a youth hunter, something that a youngster can take out hunting, this is a great gun. And they put swivel studs on it. That's pretty cool. Then we come up to the one just squeaks under the $300 price point. This is the new Umarex Gauntlet. Now, we saw this at SHOT Show.
Yes, and people have been screaming about it ever since they saw our footage.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably one of the most popular videos I've ever posted on Facebook. It just went kind of crazy. But this thing's impressive. And what you're going to see is, if you look really close, you're going to see the QB under the hood here.
Yes.
Because what they've done is they've taken a QB and basically modified it, as people have been doing for years.
Absolutely.
But what you've got here is that companies recognizing that have actually built, you know, SKU products to sit on the shelf that pull all that together. So today we're going to go through these and just talk about them.
Yep.
All right, so the first one let's talk about is the Benjamin Wildfire. Let me grab it here.
Okay. Now you've had this gun for a few months, and you've definitely played a lot with it, right?
I've played a lot with it. I did a review for Pyramid Air on this gun. This gun is super lightweight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all fully synthetic. It's very accurate, real quiet.
This is a great youth gun. This is something that you would get to plink in the backyard. It's a little bit loud, I think, which may kind of deter some people, but if you have a big enough yard, it's probably not going to be a problem. It uses the standard 1077 magazine, so if you've got a Crossman 1077, guess what?
You're that close, yeah.
This is going to all work together. Now, instead of CO2, you're going to fill the cylinder here with high pressure air. With a hand pump, is super easy to do. That's what's great about these guns. You can actually fill them relatively easily with a hand pump. Only needs 2,000 PSI. Most PCPs are going to probably want 3,000 or higher. Some of these really only need 2,000, which makes them very, very great for a hand pump. If you got, you know, you don't want to run to the scuba shop or you want to be self-sufficient, a hand pump works great. Now this gun, what's it good for? Well, this is like the plinking gun. I would not go out and hunt with this. I would not try and do any sort of serious target shooting with it. anything from 10 to 15 yards, plinking spinners, shooting water balloons, you have big blast targets, which we got to get those out one of these days pretty soon.
Yes.
And shoot those. Anything like that, this gun is really going to do well. And it's just a lot of fun. And youngsters love this gun. 12-shot magazine, very inexpensive to get several magazines. You're going to get about 24 shots before you need to top it off, which I think this is a really, really neat gun.
Yeah, it's really good for the value too.
Yeah, I mean, it's 150 bucks or so. Very, very reasonable. Now, let's move up to the QB Chief. Now this is brand new, just came out. And I've got a video on this gun as well for Pyramid Air. This thing is super impressive. Now, immediately when you grab that, what do you think?
It's a little hefty.
It's got some weight to it.
It's got a little bit of weight to it, but the wood stock, I really, really like the wood stock. I'm glad they kept it on there. Sits up real nice, good bolt. I mean, this thing's a great rifle. It absolutely is.
What really struck me with this gun, I'll go through some of the really cool features that I love with this gun. First of all, for the purists out there, look what it's got.
Yep.
It maintained really nice open sights, micro-click adjustable. If you want to take this out and get your youngster hunting, it's a little heavy, so you need to be probably a little bigger, or use shooting sticks or something. You don't want to scope it. Say you want to shoot with open sights. This will give you really, really good accuracy. Again, this gun only needs 2,000 PSI.
Another light charge.
So you don't have to take it to 3,000. That means you can use this with a hand pump very, very easily. This thing is going to go, gosh, I'm getting, at 35 yards, I'm shooting dime groups.
That's great.
And I'm getting about
could you ask for?
20 some shots per fill of just really good accuracy, which is very impressive. This comes in at 180 bucks.
Under 200 bucks?
Yeah, under $200 for something like this is really impressive. And look at the metalwork on this. I mean, you guys can hopefully see this on camera. You put that in that beautiful wood stock, and it's really impressive. Now you come down to what I just couldn't believe they included in a gun at this price point. It has a fully adjustable trigger. Just a great gun. So, and perfectly suitable for that light hunting, small game application, absolutely great for that. Hey guys, I hope you all are enjoying this episode of AirgunWebTV as we start to take a look at some of these entry-level PCP air guns that are coming out on the market. You know, 10 years ago or so when I first started, this was really not an option. PCPs were that unattainable goal, but now, man, when you're seeing price points at below $200 and this full-featured, ready-to-go out-of-the-box air gun at less than $300, man, that is really something special. You know, we say it's a great time to be an air gunner. We're not kidding. Now, even though these have gotten very inexpensive as compared to several years ago, one thing that hasn't changed is you still got to fill them up. Now, here's where, you know, you really do get what you pay for. The most convenient way, the way that you're never going to be left in a place where you can't shoot, hand pump. I love the hill pump. This particular model is, you know, getting close to that $300 price point. It's at the upper edge of what you're going to pay for a hand pump, but it is extremely reliable and it's very easy to pump, even when you got to go to really high pressure. I use the Audemars pistol. That's 300 bar. That's 4,400 PSI. This gets there no problem. The cheap pumps, you know, the sub $100 pumps, I've had troubles with them really hitting that really high pressure mark. Now, if you just need to fill a 2,000 PSI gun like the QB Chief or the Maximus or the Discovery or these kind of guns, you know, maybe that really super inexpensive hand pump will be just fine, at least to get you started and you can get out shooting. And that's really what's important to me, is you get something and you get out shooting. Now, we'll answer one question, and I get it all the time. Can you use your standard shop compressor that you know use to fill your car tire or run your air tools? Can you use that to fill these guns? Not directly. Those are going to top out at about 130 to 150 PSI. They're not going to get anywhere near the 2,000 or 3,000 plus PSI that you need to operate these air guns. So those little shop compressors aren't going to work. You got to get something else. Best place to start, especially if you're just getting into it, get yourself a hand pump. There are great options out there. Go to Pyramid Air, www.pyramidair.com. They're our official vendor. They have several options, anywhere from a little bit less than 200 up to the hill pump. And if you just can't swing that much for a hand pump and you still want to get into PCPs, Don't let that stop you. Go ahead and do your research. You're gonna find some stuff out there. It's gonna be less than $100. Now, can I guarantee those inexpensive hand pumps are gonna work as good as the hill pump? Absolutely not. In fact, I can guarantee that they won't work as good as the hill pump, but they will get you out there shooting, especially if you're looking at those 2,000 PSI air guns. Man, that may be the perfect fit. The gun's very inexpensive. You can get into a hand pump for very inexpensive, and you can get out shooting, and that's really what's important. Now let's go ahead and get back to our episode and take a look at the rest of these air guns. Now we step up to the Benjamin Maximus.
Yes.
Why don't you tell me about that gun?
Well, I'm a huge fan of the Maximus. Our buddy Cecil, the Airgun Scout, he had his Maximus, which he maxed out, or the Benjamin Maximus Max or whatever. There's just so much you can do to this rifle. It's fully adjustable and everything, just like the QV series is.
Right.
But it's a lot of fun. It's real light. The composite stock feels really good in the shoulder. And the trigger on here, I love the trigger. I don't know if it's not the stock trigger.
It's not.
I like this rifle.
Yeah.
So you said that you did some work on the trigger.
Right. So the trigger on this has got a metal trigger, and that I really am impressed with all the value you get in that QB. This is your typical Crossman. There was like the 2260 CO2 gun, which is what this is based off. Is what the Discovery was based off of. Excuse me. And it has a plastic trigger. Not my favorite. Out of the box, super spongy. If you take the trigger pack off, you can make some adjustments. You have to drill some holes, tap some holes, put some set screws in, but then you can make that trigger very, very nice. These guns were almost custom made for people to tinker with.
Yeah.
The QB series, the Benjamin Discovery, Benjamin Maximus, those guns are just almost the core.
Made to modify.
For people to tinker with, really good for that. And this is no exception. You get in there and just do a lot with this gun. I think it's a great gun for youth, for like the first youth hunter.
Absolutely.
It does come with open sights, and I removed mine here so that the scope would fit. They're not great open sights, they're okay, but they'll get you started, and it's super light, obviously, without scope. It's really, really light.
Yeah, this is a great one, and you can run a suppressor on the end. Or
go to TKO22 and get one of his moderators, and really quiets it down. So now I'm going to tell you guys about the Gauntlet. Let me grab that from you.
Okay. You want to put that back?
I will.
I've been really excited on this one too. Ever since range day at SHOT Show.
Right.
People have been screaming about it. We've been waiting to get our hands on it.
We were right next to Umrex. We were working a different booth, and we were right next to them, and they were shooting this thing all day, and I got a chance to shoot it then, posted video. It was awesome. And then I just recently posted my first look video of this gun, got it in. I was so excited I had to do something. This is the new Umrex Gauntlet, and what they've done is they've taken a bunch of pieces that people would normally use to convert a CO2 to HPA, and they just put it all into a really, really cool package. I mean, this has, first of all, a removable bottle. These bottles are not expensive. This is something that's been around forever. Nothing here reinvents the wheel. It just puts it all together in an off-the-shelf, ready-to-go package, which is cool. Again, QB78 sort of foundation. That gun is so rock solid.
Yeah.
You mount your bottle. This is a regulated bottle, so I'm getting 60-plus shots that are within 5 or 10 feet per second of each other.
Fantastic.
Just dead on the money. Every single shot is right there. So you have the ability to carry multiple bottles around. These are filled, normal paintball shop fill these. It's just like you would have for your paintball gun.
Yeah.
Same type of rig. Back here, what they've done here is instead of the single shot, they've replaced it with a multi-shot breech. Again, not reinventing the wheel here.
No, that's been around for years.
Magazine, standard Marauder magazine. So it's super inexpensive to get more. Some PCPs, you go to buy a magazine, it's like buying another gun. This one is not the case.
Exactly.
These are $15 a piece, and you got more magazines. Super, super cool.
You know, with all these features on here and everything, you know, people wonder, why haven't they had this sooner? Well, it takes time to build something like this.
Well, you want to get it right.
Stuff, yeah.
You really want it to come out when it hits store shelves. You want it to be right. So they're taking their time to make sure that they've sort of dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's, and make sure that it's right. The other thing they've got here is the fully floated barrel, and it's suppressed, enshrouded. It's super, super quiet.
Oh,
you can
absolutely.
shoot this in your front yard, and you're not going to be concerned about bothering your neighbors. Stock has got an adjustable cheek piece. I mean, all of that they cram into this gun just continues to impress me. Same trigger that you're gonna find on the QB Chief, same exact trigger. So you have that super adjustability, single stage. I haven't put a meter on this, but it's under 2 pounds, way under 2 pounds
Real
on the
light
trigger. Super light and super crisp, and you can make it just what you want. So I'm getting maybe 22 and a half, 23 foot-pounds out of this.
That's not bad at all.
Man, just a hunting machine, small game, rabbit, squirrel, look out. This is gonna be a great gun coming into that holiday season. It's just gonna be awesome.
What are we looking at for a price point for this one?
Just under 300 bucks.
Sign me up.
I mean, I can't believe it. I mean, what this gun crams together, you're normally gonna have to spend,
Man, that's like what, 800 bucks, $700-800 for
I think
most of the modifications?
22 caliber regulated that can shoot that many shots with the accuracy I'm getting from this, maybe $1,000.
Yeah, probably closer to that, yeah.
So when we're talking game changers of 2017, man, this for me, absolutely. And I really think the QB Chief, because we're looking at way under $200
Right.
for a gun that has astoundingly good accuracy and some really great features, especially for those purists out there that want the wood stock, want the open sights. If you like shooting guns, and you've been scared about PCPs, or they're too hard to fill, they're too expensive, they're too loud, none of those are excuses anymore.
Exactly.
So you can take it out, have the same sort of shooting discipline or the same sort of shooting experience as you would with a suppressed 22 long rifle, all right?
Yep.
You don't need a special hold, you don't need special technique, just line it up, gently squeeze the trigger and bang on target. Guys, that's gonna wrap this up for this episode of AirgunWebTV. My name is Rick Utzler.
And I'm Aaron the Barbarian.
Thanks for watching.